Well, Zam, I appreciate you clicking on the video. I'm a 20-year-old. I've been in ecom for maybe 3 years now. Fuck. And in this one, I'm gonna just go over kind of our ad strategy for the brand you saw in the thumbnail and how we are able to take it from when I hopped on as a partner, it was at $600 a day in rev. And then over the next 63 days, we scaled over that period of time to 746K in revenue, I think it was. And it was through an inflated bid cap strategy, whitelist prelanders, a dialed in team, and then a lot of fucking urgency, to be honest with you. So as you can see, I'm driving. I'm just gonna talk until I get back home. I got my notes, try and get through everything while I can, and I hope it's valuable for everyone. So when I started off on the brand, we were running a highest volume campaign. There was maybe 10, 15 ad sets in there. Lots of different angles, lots of different concepts were tested, but there was one main prevailing angle. So what I did was I came in there and then I did a full breakdown by amount spent, ROAS, and then cost per purchase to just quickly identify where Facebook was putting all of this to. So I exported out CSV, threw it into AI, that as well with all the market research docs that were already there, and then a bit more things like a psychographic. And I basically did a very deep dive into all these things to kind of understand where Facebook was allocating the spend and what was actually working the best. And from there, I was able to identify that there was one very prevalent angle, and within that, there weren't many concepts that were really tested as well as they could be. Now, the brand was fucking elite, if I'm being honest. Like, it was an amazing opportunity. The partner, he's an absolute dog. Shout out to him. And the website, the product, the TAM, everything was perfect. The only issue was just time and inputs. So that was really the big thing. But yeah, so after all of these things, I ended up putting together a much highly detailed market research doc. Shit was maybe 100 pages long. And then we started diving a lot deeper into this and kind of defining it down into, instead of like 30 to 35, this person, into a named person, their habits, their rituals, their routines, how they feel, what their emotions are, all these things, and then attaching that to the product itself. And that was how we decided that we were going to go about marketing and going on. So I hired on both of my strategists, and then we started making concepts. So we're running this, and we started scaling up to maybe 1.5, 1.6K. But the issue was, of course, like a thing that you're going to see very often with the highest volume is consistency. So we'd have some days 20%, 30%, and then of course you scale up the budget, and then next day break even, loss, and then you're starting to look better again. And over around a week straight, we noticed that it was very, very fucking volatile. Like, it wasn't looking good. So we implemented, shout out Manny Barbaras for this, an inflated bid cap strategy. So what this is basically, let's say our cost per purchase on the product was $18 on average over all the spend that we had in all the purchases. We set our bid cap on every single ad set within there, and this was the same campaign. I didn't duplicate it. I don't do that shit, I'm gonna be honest. I did it in the exact same one. We put the cap on it to, let's say, a bit above. It was around $21, and the average CPA was 18. So that gave it just enough room to kind of bid in auctions that were a little bit above, but also tight enough to where it's not gonna spend over and we're gonna be break even or negative each day. And then I put a breakdown by delivery, time of day, and there I was looking at the amount spent over the first 4 to 6 hours to see if the bid cap was even gonna spend. So I do this, and then it would say like the first hour it spent a few cents, next one picked up more, and then you'll start seeing that it's starting to actually get loose and spend, and performance, revenue might drop, but profits are gonna increase a lot. That's what I've always seen with the bid cap. And then since it's protecting your profits and way more consistent, your whole focus now shifts from being in the ad account, turning off ads, doing all this shit, to fully on the creative side, the offer side, the whitelist of prelanders. So that's completely where we went. I would be in the ad account when we were really fucking scaling. I'd be there once every couple of days. I wouldn't even turn shit off for maybe a full fucking week. So that was kind of how we set it up. Let's say our ad spend was at $800 a day. The point of calling it an inflated bid cap is your budget is going to be inflated up so that it has enough room to kind of spend, and your whole focus just goes into getting more ad sets within there. So let's say it was at 1,000, I put it up to maybe $5,000 a day, and then it's bid capped. It's only going to spend 800 on average. If one day's looking very well, it might spend up to 14. If day's looking bad, it might spend a little less. And it's just really based off of kind of the demand that Facebook is seeing within the auction, because they're not going to try and go out and get you a CPA that's above your cap that you're setting. So now that we had that fully set up how we needed it to be, we started just basically spamming fucking ad sets, if I'm being honest. Ripped. The editors and strategists, they were going fucking crazy with them. And then once we finally started getting some consistent winners, and it took a little bit of time, I'm gonna be honest, maybe 3-4 weeks of just 5 to 8 concepts a week to finally get that big winner. Once we got it, we juiced the fuck out of it. I instantly took it and then all the other previous winners, and I duplicated them and ran them to a prelander that was really honed into that awareness stage. So let's say it was product aware. There's a really good image inside of the community of congruent funnels matrix, and you can see that certain awareness stages work better for certain prelanders. So a listicle and advertorial are going to work well for less aware stages than, for example, if they're even fucking product aware or offer aware, like they know all these things, whatever. I don't think it's product offer aware, but whatever the fuck it is, then it might be better to just run them to a product page. But we did this with all our winning ads. We threw it into an ad set and then just duped them all in that ad set to the prelander that I made that was honed into that specific angle that was working. So I watched all the videos, I threw it into Google Studio to get a really good analysis on them as well. And then from there, made the copy in Claude, threw some fucking images in that bitch, and then launched it. That instantly ripped. It scaled very well. And so what we found right there was, okay, this is already something that's kind of known in the ecom space, is that you can juice a lot more out of a winning ad, and even just ads that you're testing, if you add a prelander on the back of it that's congruent. Because let's say there's this evolvement that's 322. They will test an ad concept in 2 different ad sets. One of them will be your main landing page, your control, and then the new one will be the one that you're testing. So after seeing that there was this really big proof of concept on that, we started going ham on this. Every single ad set that was in there, because we're running a bid cap as well. If it's not spending, we don't have to stress about it at all of duplicating it to another prelander, because if it picks up spend, it's a winner. We don't have to worry about turning things off because it's contributing to us getting the spend up and hitting that cost. So I'll just give a crazy example. That winning ad that we had, I think I had it in maybe 5 different ad sets all spending. Now, not all of those were different prelanders, but the thing that we added on top of this was whitelist pages. Now, the whitelist pages is basically, let's say you're targeting American fathers. You would get a Facebook page, throw some AI profile picture of some dad taking a selfie with a basic bio, and just make it look kind of like a real personal page. But you're gonna run ads off of it that look congruent to that profile, so that when someone's scrolling through, they don't feel like they're getting advertised to by a brand. They feel like this is a real review, a real testimonial, real whatever you want to call it, from this person that they're seeing that looks like them. So we started taking that winning ad and running it on these whitelist pages, even to the prelanders. So it might go from 2 ad sets to 4 just because we're testing more whitelist pages off the back of it. Now, we ran maybe 3 different ones in total. We had an MD page, which would be like a doctor basically. This was more for authority style content if we were really talking about kind of credibility, and we needed something that had more authority figure around it to try and improve the ad. We had our main brand page. This was everything. That personal style whitelist page. And then we had a themed page around that angle. And we used all of these. So I might take one ad set, and then after seeing it get approved, because this is a little thing. If you're just duplicating one ad to 5 ad sets before it even gets approved and it gets rejected, your ad account is going to get fucking banned fast as a bitch. Because you're instantly going to get 5 ads rejected. And if you're launching the amount of ad sets we were, at one point it was like 40 ads rejected at once, boom, ad account banned. And if you're really spending some money as well, and you got a team behind you, you're a little fucked, gang. So that's a little small thing. But once we got that ad approved, I would duplicate it to 5 different ad sets, test a different whitelist page on it, test a different prelander, all these different things, just so that this one concept that we're testing, we can test all the variables on it. Because at the end of the day, this shit wasn't organized, I'm gonna be honest. But all I really give a fuck about is amount spent and ROAS. Like, I just want money coming in, and I want the bid cap to spend, because the bid cap is it's not gonna spend if it's not profitable. So your whole focus is just on getting that spend up, and you do that through more creatives, more whitelists, more prelanders. So on these whitelist pages as well, to make them look more congruent, we started noticing that the CPC would be very low on them compared to the brand page, but the conversion rate would drop with it as well, because these people know that they feel that they're not getting advertised to. So we started, those really needed a prelander on the back of them, and one that looked more third party. So we'd turn off like the header, the footer, and these things, and focus more on like having social proof in the listicle, maybe an advertorial, all these things. And just once we cracked that, we just started spamming it. I'm gonna be honest, I was maybe launching at one point like 30 ad sets a day for a week straight. And that was when we scaled up insanely fast. And it was also, I increased the cap on the bid from $21 to $23, only a $2 difference. And in that day, we went from maybe $15,000 a day in revenue to 30K, and then the next 40. So, I mean, that was pretty unbelievable, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, bro. And then, all right, last thing as well, I low-key was just fucking talking. I don't know if you niggas got anything from that, but image ads. So how we approached kind of getting content in there was, we looked at everything as like a wheelhouse, like a different engine, for example. So there was the video ad side that our editors and our strategists was making. Then there was the image ad side. Then there was ripped content, and then there was normal things like product seeding, UGC. So on the image ad, this was, we started getting some really big winners. Like, we had one image ad spend 10K a day. We would run these as lead gen style. So if you scroll Facebook or the news, or maybe one of these other like kind of black hat more websites, you'll see lots of ads aren't even selling a product at all. It'll be like breaking news, Harvard doctors just discovered this breakthrough solution for knee pain, and here's how you could use it, whatever, like shit like that. That's just used to kind of draw you in and get the click for really cheap. And then it'll run into an advertorial that takes you through all the stages of awareness and fully connect that breakthrough to their product by the end of it. It's so smooth, I'm gonna be honest. It's really amazing. So we started running those, and I think maybe the third one we tested just ripped. And the thing that kind of differentiated us on being able to get winners out fast was, of course, the whitelist and the prelanders. So for the image ads, what we started doing, and we did this on the video ad side toward the very end, was, let's say it was that Harvard doctor, and we ran this on the brand page. We would then take that concept and we would make it from the angle of one of our whitelist pages. So I would then, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. Let's say on the MD page, that was the one that really ripped. We took that main angle that worked on the main brand page for this lead gen, And then we changed it as if it was coming from the perspective of the doctor. So then we had a bunch of variations of it launched, it ripped. Then we took it and we made it from the perspective of the personal page. Same concept, but just from the perspective of that person with a slight design variation as well, so that it all looked congruent. And then just ran it, and that bitch was a winner too. It was insane. It was, at that point, it became so easy to get a winner, because once you crack one concept, all you have to do is just make it from the angle of one of your other pages, and it's a winner again. Then you could, boom, just spam like 20 more variations, especially with image ads. You could get 2 VAs off of Upwork and then just train them up on Creative OS or something like that. Make your briefs in Claude, send them off, and then use like we used Monday.com to assign them, and then just, we were pumping out 10 concepts a day. Like, you can, the amount of volume you can put your image ads is insane. Really what I want to do is run a brand purely off of just lead gen image ads and a shit fucking army of VAs. That bitch would be crazy. Because the profits on are insane as well. Our cost per click on that one ad that was really crushing was like 20 cents. 20 cents. Like, bro. I don't know, that shit was just so easy once we figured that out. And then we started applying it to the video ad side as well. So let's say you're running all ripped content and you're right now running it off your main brand page. Go get a Facebook page, make it a whitelist that looks like your main avatar from like the ripped content, and then just take the ripped content and run it on there. And then as well, like, this is a really small thing, but make the headline and the primary text on the copy congruent to it as well. If you're running a BOGO, use the headline of "use my link to get one free." Make the primary text sound like a real honest review of like how before this was their problem, then they introduced the product and it worked really well, so this is their real testimonial of it. And then just go crazy with those. Do it from the perspective of the doctor. Do it from the theme page. And you could have infinite amount of these whitelist pages. You could have one ad running on, for example, there's this brand, Draco Slides. Bro, I can't even tell you how many times I saw the same fucking ad, but from different pages. It was unbelievable. You could just do that from as many pages as you can get into your ad account. And this is another thing about the inflated big cap that we're running. We had a secondary product. We ran this in the same campaign. So everything was one campaign. We were testing, scaling, whitelist, new product, prelander, all of it was in one campaign, because like I said, our whole goal was just to get that spend up as high as possible so that we could scale. And everything had the same exact bid cap on it. For a little bit, we ran a minimum spend on it, especially if we had issues like some delivery issues where I had to pause for a little bit. I'd put like a good solid minimum spend on it just to force it. But for the most part, you really don't need to do that. Shit's not very complicated, you know? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I really can't think of anything else to tell y'all. So I appreciate you watching the video. Depending how this does, I might go ahead and make another one tomorrow. Maybe I'll go over, actually tomorrow, if this video does well, I'll go over the actual team and how we built it, and a bit more on like the infrastructure as well, like Creative OS, Monday, the prompts, the SOPs. And if you want access to any of these things beforehand, then I made a full entire breakdown, case study, whatever you want to call it, of every single thing with our SOPs, our prompts, how we hired, how I purchased things, the mindset, product research, softwares. Just, I gave it all completely for free, and I have it linked in the bio of this page. So just click on my website, scroll through, get it there, and then let me know what you think of it in the community, because I'm continuing to update it, and I'm gonna have an AI coming out very soon as well. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope it was valuable. If not, that's tough, you know. Have a good one.